Was there something Taehyung had been hiding all this time? Why did his facial expression drastically change when he arrived at the hotel that night in Paris? And most shocking of all, what did he suddenly say during the live broadcast on Weverse that made Jungkook cry uncontrollably? That night, armies around the world weren't just watching, they were stunned, speechless, and many couldn't hold back tears. An emotional confession from Taehyung had opened the door to an old wound long kept sealed. Paris, the city of light, usually a symbol of beauty and warmth, instead became a silent witness to one of the darkest emotional moments in the history of two BTS members, Taehyung and Jungkook. Taehyung, who was scheduled to attend a prestigious event in Paris, was seen stepping out of the car with tired steps, puffy eyes, and a face far from the usual warm smile he always shared. Fans waiting outside the hotel immediately sensed something was off. Was it just exhaustion? Or was there a deeper wound? It didn't take long for that silence to turn into global chaos. A few hours after his arrival, Taehyung suddenly went live on Weverse. No announcement, no teaser, no promotion. Just a small notification that popped up on fan screens. Taehyung is live. And from there, everything changed. With a soft yet clear voice, his face bowed and occasionally taking deep breaths, Taehyung began the broadcast, which within minutes became the hottest topic worldwide. "I'm sorry that lately it's been hard for me to smile," he said, opening the stream that suddenly became a confession room. Taehyung didn't mention names, didn't blame anyone, but the clues he gave were enough to make the entire ARMY community think hard. "I came to Paris hoping to find peace," he said. "But honestly, the things that have happened recently, both on and off stage, have been really exhausting. There are things I can't control. I try to be strong, but I can't keep pretending." Instantly, thousands of comments flooded in. "Taehyung, are you okay? What happened? We're here for you." But Taehyung continued, and that's when everything got even more emotional. "There's someone I miss. Someone who used to be my best listener. Someone who understood me even when I didn't speak," he revealed. And the next sentence became the main trigger for the wave of emotion that swept in that night. "And I want him to know that I still keep him here," as he pointed to his chest. Without mentioning a name, armies immediately caught the hint. Jungkook. Not only because of their closeness, but because of the long emotional history between the two that has become a story of its own among the fandom. The live broadcast lasted almost 27 minutes, but every second felt like a ticking time bomb. No background music, no effects, just silence, a heavy voice, and Taehyung's empty stare trying to hold back tears. But the most devastating moment was when he said, "I want to talk, but sometimes I don't know if I even have a place to talk." The live ended in silence. Taehyung looked at the camera, said, "Thank you, I'm sorry," and then ended the stream. That was it. But it was in that very moment that Jungkook, who was in America at the time, reportedly put down his phone and immediately contacted the nearest staff to check on Taehyung's condition. According to sources close to them, Jungkook cried as he watched the live. A BTS manager who wished to remain anonymous stated, "Jungkook was really hit hard by the broadcast. He was speechless. He just sat in the corner of the room and cried silently for several minutes. We've never seen him like that. What really happened in Paris before the live? Why did Taehyung reach a breaking point to explode, emotionally in front of millions of fans? Was there pressure from the agency? Or is this about an unresolved personal matter?" Some armies skilled in body language analyzed Taehyung's gestures during the live and also when entering the hotel. In a viral video, Taehyung was seen wiping away tears before waving to fans. He tried to smile, but his eyes said otherwise, said one army who was on site. This was further supported by a post from a fashion photographer who captured Taehyung at a private event in Paris. In the photo, Taehyung sat alone in a corner, staring out the window, without a smile, and then came the next day. Jungkook, during a radio broadcast in New York, suddenly spoke about someone who matters and is hurting. Without naming names, he said, "When someone you care about feels broken, you feel broken too. Sometimes, you feel stupid for not being there to protect them." But what made things even more mysterious was when Weverse suddenly removed the recording of Taehyung's live broadcast a few hours after it aired. Was this at the agency's request? Or was there something in the live that was considered too sensitive to keep? No official explanation has been given, but this only fueled greater suspicion. As something happening behind the scenes with BTS, several South Korean entertainment industry analysts began to speak out. This incident could signal that BTS is under more internal emotional pressure than it appears, said a senior K-pop journalist. They're human, and over time, emotional tension can build up. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the beginning of a larger conversation about mental health among idols. Meanwhile, fans started digging up old moments between Jungkook and Taehyung. One video from 2019 went viral again, where Taehyung gently touched Jungkook's shoulder and said, "If you need me, I'll always be there." Now, that moment feels far more meaningful, even painful, when viewed in the current context. One thing is certain: the moment in Paris wasn't just an ordinary live stream.
It was a cry.
A heart's call. And Jungkook's emotional reaction is proof that whatever is happening, it involves something far deeper than mere fatigue or work pressure. It's about connection.
About wounds.
About losing direction. Until now, the agency has not given an official statement, and both have not reappeared publicly. But armies remain strong, waiting, hoping, and praying. They know, behind the spotlight, their idols are human too. And humans, no matter how strong the image they build, can still cry, collapse, and need a hug. After closely reviewing various reports, viral videos, and the live broadcast recording that circulated on social media, it is now time to revisit the entire narrative that shook armies worldwide. Did Jungkook really cry hard after hearing Taehyung's shocking confession during a live broadcast in Paris? Did Taehyung truly reveal something emotional that triggered a global wave of support from fans? And most importantly, did all of this actually happen as many people believed? The answer: not entirely true. In fact, most of the narrative was a result of speculation, misunderstanding, and distorted information spread without confirmation. First, let's correct the facts about Taehyung's live broadcast on Weverse while he was in Paris. It is true that Taehyung did a brief live broadcast recently, and also true that his expression appeared calmer and more serious than usual. However, after further investigation, there is no strong evidence that he expressed emotional statements about someone he misses, or that he cried during the broadcast. The live stream is still accessible to some armies, and upon reanalysis, there is no statement explicitly indicating deep sadness or personal trauma as widely reported. The second crucial point to clarify is the rumor of Jungkook crying hard in America after watching Taehyung's live. This rumor originated from unofficial fan accounts that spread claims without clear sources, quickly evolving into a story widely believed. After further investigation, there is not a single video, photo, or official confirmation from Jungkook or Big Hit Music showing that the incident actually occurred. In fact, several reliable media outlets in South Korea have refuted the news, stating that Jungkook was on a personal schedule and made no comments related to Taehyung's live stream. Photos of Taehyung allegedly crying or looking tired when entering a hotel in Paris were actually taken from a limited angle and moment. In a full-length video circulated by fans at the scene, Taehyung can be seen waving and smiling at fans. His tired expression is more likely due to a busy schedule and jet lag after a long flight from South Korea to France. There is no strong indication that he was in a deteriorating mental state or sending distress signals, as discussed in the dramatized narrative circulating online. It's also important to note that Weverse did not delete the live stream as claimed in some clickbait articles. The broadcast is still available, although in some regions it experienced delays due to region settings and connectivity. This is a common occurrence and not evidence that sensitive content was hidden. Furthermore, there has been no official statement from the agency, neither from Big Hit Music nor from the personal management of both BTS members, confirming the circulating narrative. On the contrary, Big Hit Music has, on several occasions, emphasized the importance of verifying information from trusted sources and not getting carried away by harmful speculation toward artists and fans. The narrative suggesting that Jungkook and Taehyung are going through emotional conflict or are in a sad situation mostly stems from personal assumptions. exaggerated interpretation of body language, and framing by social media accounts seeking high engagement through dramatic and sensational stories. It's important to remember that BTS, like all public figures, are often subject to overinterpretation by the public and media. A serious expression, a long silence, or even absence from an event is often immediately interpreted as a sign of internal problems or psychological stress. In reality, celebrity life is far more complex and often simpler than assumed. Fatigue, time zone differences, packed schedules, and public expectations can make anyone appear quieter or more closed off without necessarily going through emotional crisis. In the end, it is important for every ARMY community member and K-pop news consumer to refrain from spreading unverified news. Empathy and concern should not be used as reasons to believe or spread potentially inaccurate stories. Even with good intentions, the impact can be serious, both for the artists targeted by the story and for fans who are unnecessarily worried.